The men over here have something we call the African spirituality. And I like to dwell on that because when you come to Ghana, 25 million to 27 million people, most people are Christianized today.
People have been allowed themselves to be brainwashed, believing that everything black, everything Africa is evil.
No, I don't want to be a Christian, and I know why I am not a Christian. I see Christianity as a kind of spiritual enslavement.
That Jesus Christ was born through spirit. How can?
There is no spirituality, but rather exploitation.
Yeah.
People have become lazy and spend all the time in church, and their lives does not improve a bit.
Defining the African faith. I have been driving around Ghana, talking to different people, talking to different religious leaders on the African faith. Who are we as black people? Black Empire news coming out of Ghana, out of Africa, international. ZOH TV. We're trying to define the faith of black people around the world. So this is Black Empire News. You comment, you subscribe, and you tell us what you think. Who are we and what is our identity? I am reporting live from Ghana, in a small little town in the middle of Eastern region called Wenchi, defining the African faith. Defining the African faith. I am still on my episode and I'm heading to the University of Ghana now. I'm going to go interview, a diasporan. And if you've been watching my show before, I did an episode on a man called Obadele Kambon. This man is also believed to be somebody quite powerful in understanding the origin of the black man, the spiritual systems of the black man. In today's modern world, are we still spiritually aligned, or we are still hanging in the sky trying to find our own faith? Are we going to go back into the indigenous belief system and trying to find our own self? But you know what? The thing is, commit to me. It will sound to be very something hard for a lot of people to want to go there. It's like they can't even connect to it. But we're trying to make our people to understand who they are.
Yeah.
So let's come back to the day-to-day today in Ghana. Everybody knows about voodoo. Everybody knows about juju. Everybody knows about something that, we say, oh, African traditional religion. Oh, it's a shrine. We all know about that, but people don't have the confidence to even go there and research what it is about. People don't want to know about it because it's been told so many times that it's a worship of, Satanism and evil, and it hasn't had a good platform for many people to follow. Whilst I know that maybe there are other people around the world who want to actually know what it is about. Can you break it down to me? What is voodoo about? What is Obia about? What is the Ifa about? What is the divinity system? What is it that is so beautiful about it that I know, other people don't know, but they are scared about it?
Okay. All right. So one of the things is that we found throughout the continent there's a shared worldview. Shared worldview.
Yes.
And basically it's heliocentric in the sense of it's based around the sun. Now, what do we know about the sun? We know that it rises and we know it sets.
Yes.
We know that even though it sets,
yes,
that doesn't mean that it no longer exists. I think that we can all agree on that simple fact. So let me actually show you something. This is something that I wear on my back. This is what's called Dikenga.
Dikenga.
Right.
Are you guys watching? Dikenga. You raise it up a little bit.
Okay. So, right. So this is Dikenga. And what this is, it basically shows what I'm talking about. So you see this circle here.
Yes.
You see this cross in the middle.
Yeah.
So those of you who have ever seen a cross, you may not know the significance of the cross, but this is showing you sunrise.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So when the sun rises, it gets to its highest point. The sunrise is called, and this is the Kikongo language, they call it Kala.
So what language is it?
Kikongo, the language of the Congo.
Of the Congo.
Right?
Okay.
One of the languages. So this is the sunrise. Now the sun eventually gets to its highest point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is called Tukula.
Tukula.
Right?
Okay.
So this is, similar to talking about, when the sun is at noon.
Yes.
Now, eventually the sun comes down and it sets, right?
Yeah.
But just as we all agreed on that when the sun sets, it doesn't stop existing.
Yeah.
So here we have, it comes down here to midnight, and then eventually it rises again. Right?
Yeah.
So this is part of why when throughout the continent, there's the idea that even though the sun sets, it doesn't stop existing.
Okay.
Similarly, when a person passes on, this is analogous to when a person passes on,
All right.
that they don't stop existing.
Okay.
So you have proverbs such as Onipawa neketramambro.
And Onipewa ni ketremampro.
Right?
Yes.
So I hope we get that. That means when a person dies, their tongue doesn't rot.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways that the person lives on is through the words that they've said.
Yeah.
Other ways are through the things that they've built, other ways and so forth and so on. So it's a similar thing. So when we want to understand things such as libation,
Yes.
there's an understanding that this side is metaphorically like the ancestral realm. This is, associated with night.
Okay.
This side is light. So they call this kumpemba.
Okay.
It literally
Kumpemba.
means towards the white clay.
Okay.
So for those of you who know Ishtre.
Yes. Chile.
Right.
Ayilo.
Right.
Yeah.
In Yoruba they call it Efon.
Afon.
In Kikongo they call it Mpemba.
Okay.
So the idea is that this ancestral realm is called Kumpemba.
Kumpemba.
And the idea is that you bury them there, and one of the things that they send to you is this white clay,
Yeah.
and it has healing properties.
Yes.
So even animals in the rainforest, they can eat berries and things that are otherwise poisonous, but then they go to the riverside, they take this in, and they're able to, it absorbs.
Yeah.
So even Western medicine, they have things called kaopectate.
Yeah.
And that's kaolin powder. This is the same thing that we're talking about. So
Alright.
it has these properties.
Okay.
So this is associated with that white clay. So
Okay.
it's this grayish. And then here, this is associated with the black.
Okay.
So they call it activated
Yeah.
charcoal.
I'm not like, I just wanted to understand something small before I come back to the original question. So the clay, that we call it ayilo,
Ayilo.
is quite very important, right?
Very much so. Very much so. So also, so we're talking about what it's used for.
Yeah.
If you have, anything like skin rashes, if you have, a cut, you put the shire on it, it'll cake up and it'll eventually become something like having a scab.
Okay.
And then when it peels off,
Alright.
So it has all of these healing properties. It can be taken internally. So if you go throughout the continent, you'll see people in rituals, they're putting this white clay on.
Yes.
If they-
Yeah.
So even my son, he was born right here in this room, and I was the one who served as the mid-husband,
Yeah.
let's say midwife, to my wife. So he had an issue where, the umbilical cord, it wouldn't dry up. So we put the sharia on. It dried up. It healed.
Yeah.
And everything, was fine from there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
this is a significance.
Thank you very much. We're coming back again. So because we were on the road of trying to let people to understand what voodoo was and what.
So this is what I'm coming to. So this is part of the understanding of the worldview, the shared worldview from Kemet all the way here to Ghana, all the way across the entire continent.
Okay.
So you'll see, if you don't understand that there's a shared worldview, you'll just see it as disconnected rituals.
Okay.
Or they're pouring libation with pito, or what they're doing with palm wine, or they're doing it with corn flour and water. And it just looks like a whole hodgepodge, but why are we pouring libation?
Why are we pouring
Why are we doing all these rituals?
Yes.
That this is the foundation of why we do all of these different things.
Okay.
So this understanding is actually the same thing that you find in Kemet, right? So in Kemet you had Kepra, you had Ra, you had Atum,
Okay.
you had Asar,
Yes.
the Lord of the Underworld.
Okay, you can
It's
just explain that a little bit because some people use Ra, they use Osiris, and the platform I have for a lot of people are people who are like normal day-to-day man on the street. They don't really understand certain jargons.
Yeah.
So I would like you to just
Break
say,
it down.
Ra is the Osiris is the blah blah blah,
Right.
and then they can go find out themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is essentially what we've been talking about, that you have the sun at different stages, right? Just like a human being has different stages. So if you ever wondered, okay, well, why do they have initiation ceremonies like the Krobo or whoever? That is basically the same type of thing. So after you're born, here you'll have, let's say, 8 days, depending on the people. It could be 7 days, 9 days among some people. But basically, this is your first initiation into this world. Anytime you transition from one stage to another, you go through this initiation. So that's basically your initiation here. Now the sun, and that's the sun when it's just risen. It's not very strong. It's like a child almost. It comes here to this point in the middle. This is like when you become an adolescent, where for a girl, you've had your menses, or you're finally becoming a man. So you would have your initiation here, right? You come here. This is when you're at your strongest. Eldership, finally death, and then you come back. You come back again. So this same process repeated down here.
Brings to the reincarnation again.
Exactly.
All right.
So this is why when you look throughout the continent, there's a concept of reincarnation. It's based on the human being seen as being like a living sun. Now, you can find this even in idioms. So anytime we're talking about these things, it's good to look at the proverbs of the language, the idioms of the language. So if you say something like, Wanya neviawo, it's saying that the person, or wewu ewiakete, it means that the person died here. So they haven't finished this whole cycle, that they've passed on here in the sunlight. They say the same thing in Yoruba, right? So here they will say aro jo. So aro, that's morning, or jo, that is of the day. So that is a metaphor for saying childhood, the morning of the day. So again, it's taking this analogy that what happens to the sun is analogous to what happens to a human being. So once the sun sets, here you have this whole realm that's basically a repetition of what happened here. So just like how you had your initiations here, you have your initiations there. So this is why you'll see the 1 month ceremony, the 1 year ceremony after a person passes, that you're recognizing that the person is going through these same stages on that side. You have these things like abiku, which is a child who is born and dies, born and dies. You have this concept, right? In Yoruba, it's abiku. So B is to give birth. Ku is to die. So abiku is someone who is born and dies. Then it's seen that it's the same person who will come again. They're born and they die young. They're born. So sometimes they'll put a mark on the face or on the body.
Where they call it donko.
Exactly. Right. So you'll name them, and it's more than just donko. You can name them any type of name that will make their playmates here decide to leave them alone. So you can call them donko. You can call them sumina. You can call them anything. And the idea is like, just like if you have, let's say, your wife, excuse me to say, or someone just close to you, and they're about to pass away, you would do whatever you could to save them, whether CPR or whatever. So let's say the person has gone into a coma, but you've revived them. On that side, they would see it like abiku. In the ancestral realm, they would see it like abiku. Like, oh, we were about to give birth to our child in the ancestral realm, but you keep pulling them back. It's seen the same way here, that here they're trying to get born into this realm, but they're seeing it like our relative is going to pass into the other realm. They're going to transition. They're trying to save them, pull them back in this realm. So when you see all throughout the continent, there are these similar concepts of reincarnation. So you would name the child something like Abebiu, or like in Yoruba, Yejide, or Babatunde. All of these things are names that let you know this is someone who's reincarnating. But again, it comes from the same worldview. So sometimes they talk about heliocentric models as coming from Europeans, that when we're talking about heliocentric, it means sun-centered.
Sun-centered,
That the human being is at the center of this, but the human being is seen as a metaphor for the sun. You understand?
All right.
So what I'm trying to do is give you a basis, a foundation to understand.
We'll come back to more deeper stuff, but give me the basis then. And I'm loving it. ZOH TV out of Ghana, out of Africa, it's international, you know what I mean.
Hey everybody, keep watching ZOH TV. It's international, it's #1.
Viewers, we are back. We're back.
So, as I was saying, that when you understand that the human being is seen as a living sun, so this is exactly what they say in Kikongo language, again, looking to the Congo, but you find it again in the proverbs and the idioms all throughout the continent. So, if you see it like the sunset is like a person's death.
Okay.
The midnight is like when they're at basically their height in that realm.
Yeah.
But then they come back around and then they're reborn into this realm.
All right.
So this concept of reincarnation is coming from this whole concept that the human being is like a sun. Even though the sun sets, it doesn't stop existing.
Yeah.
This is why throughout the continent you find people pouring libation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is coming here to what these lines here are.
Okay.
So this is called Mukula.
Mukula.
And this is seen as the line that connects the living and those who are already in the ancestral realm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is also why if you go throughout the continent, when you're having naming ceremonies, usually it's the elder who will perform the naming ceremony, because this one is the one who's best equipped to realize when their own grandparent reincarnates.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Akan language, you use Nana for an elder.
Yeah.
You use Nana for an elder, but it's also used for a grandchild. So an elder would call this one, oh, Menana.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So I teach P, and sometimes my students are like, well, how can Nana be both grandparent, but then Nana is grandchild?
Yeah.
Why is this small child called Nana? Nana Kwisi, Nana whatever. What is? But once they understand it from this point of view, then it makes sense that, again, this is my grandparent, and here's me being born. So as I'm going through my life, my grandparent will pass on and will continue their life here.
Yes.
Now we come and meet again. Now I'm the grandparent, and now this is my grandchild who's being reborn, and then the cycle.
But then even
again.
in tree, there's a saying that you know what I mean? Because there is a point where now you get to a stage where you can't walk anymore. You know. And you become like a newborn baby, where the newborn baby cannot walk either. So that Nana is the same stage with the little Nana being born.
So now let's look back at the sun. When it first rises, it's very weak, right? It's not something where, oh, it's so hot, right? So just like here, when the sun is setting, it's very weak. So this is just extending that analogy again, and recognize that both of these are close to the ancestral realm, right? They're both just from this one just about to go into. So this is where you're at your strongest point. You know, economically, socially, physically here. But the closer you are here to this side or to that side, to the ancestral realm, Kumpemba, or in G we say Asamando. Right.
Okay.
Then you're at a weaker stage.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the meaning of Ra? What is Ra?
Right. So Ra is the word for the sun in ancient Kemet.
Yes.
So it's written as a mouth. I can actually write it for you if you want to. I don't know if that would be.
Well, we need your blackboard, but maybe another time we have to get a blackboard. We like that blackboard.
No problem. No problem.
Well, is that the university or is here?
It's here.
It's here.
Should I don't know.
Should we take the blackboard? Yeah, man.
Okay.
Take it. Viewers, ZOH TV, man. We telling you, we bring you the fresh stories, the most original stories that you can never get anywhere, because that's Black Empire News. We are about getting our people to understand what it is about their originality.